The marble floors of the Wolf Grand Hotel gleamed under golden chandeliers. Evelyn Carter's knees ached as she scrubbed the bathroom tile in Suite 1902, her 10th room that shift. The chemical smell burned her nostrils. Her hands were cracked and bleeding. 12 hours. She had been working for 12 hours straight. Her phone buzzed. A text from the hospital. Liam's medication was running out. Again, another $300. She didn't have. Evelyn closed her eyes and felt the tears threaten to come. She couldn't afford to break down. It's not here. Not now. Suite 1903 was her last room. The penthouse. She pushed the door open and froze. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the glittering city skyline. The bed in the center was massive, draped in sheets that probably cost more than her rent. Everything smelled like expensive leather and sand. LWOOD. Evelyn moved through the room, mechanically, dusting, straightening. Her vision blurred with exhaustion. Just 1 minute. She would rest for 1 minute. She sat on the edge of the bed. The mattress felt like clouds. Her eyes drifted shut. The door slammed open. Evelyn jolted awake, her heart exploding in her chest. A man stood at the foot of the bed. Tall, dark suit. Ice blue eyes that could cut through steel. Alexander Wolf, the owner. Her boss's boss's boss. Who the hell are you? His voice was lethal. Quiet. Controlled. Evelyn scrambled backward, her hands gripping the sheets. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I was just cleaning, and I sat down for a second in my bed. The way he said it made her stomach drop. It was a mistake, she whispered. Please, I need this job. Alexander stepped closer. His presence filled the entire room. He looked at her like she was a puzzle he couldn't solve, and that made him angry. Oh, do you know what happens to people who make mistakes in my hotel? Evelyn's throat tightened. They get fired. Worse. Silence stretched between them. The city lights sparkled behind him like a million watching eyes. Then Alexander did something unexpected. He exhaled slowly and turned away. Get out. Evelyn didn't wait. She grabbed her cart and ran. But as the door closed behind her, Alexander stood alone in his suite, staring at the rumpled sheets where she had been. He couldn't explain it. The way she had looked, small, exhausted, real, everyone in his world wore masks, but not her. And for the first time in 10 years, Alexander Wolf felt something he thought had died long ago. Curiosity. Alexander couldn't stop thinking about her. 3 days had passed. 3 days of business meetings and phone calls and million-dollar deals. But every night he found himself staring at his bed, remembering the girl who had fallen asleep there. He told himself it was nothing. A momentary lapse in judgment. He had more important things to focus on. But then he saw her again. She was in the VIP corridor, adjusting towels on her cleaning cart. Her hair was pulled back tight. Dark circles shadowed her eyes. She moved like someone carrying the weight of the world. Alexander stopped walking. His assistant continued talking beside him, oblivious. Evelyn looked up. Their eyes met. She went pale. Alexander dismissed his assistant with a wave and walked straight toward her. You're avoiding me, he said. Evelyn straightened, her knuckles white on the cart handle. No, sir. I'm working. How long have you been here? At this hotel? Almost 2 years, and I've never seen you before? Evelyn forced a small smile. That means I'm doing my job right. Alexander studied her. Most people either feared him or wanted something from him. But Evelyn just looked tired, guarded. Tell me about yourself. Her eyes widened. What? I want to know more about you. Why? Because I do. Evelyn shook her head slowly. With all due respect, Mr. Wolf, my life wouldn't interest you. No one had ever dismissed him like that. No one. Alexander leaned closer. Close enough to see the gold flecks in her brown eyes. Try me. I have a 6-year-old brother, Evelyn said quietly. Liam, he has leukemia. I work 2 jobs to pay for his treatment. That's my life. Cleaning rooms and trying not to drown. Something cracked in Alexander's chest. Why are you telling me this? He asked. Because you asked. And because I don't have the energy to lie anymore? That night, Alexander did something he had never done. He looked into her. Evelyn Carter, 24. No parents. A sick brother who needed expensive medication she couldn't afford. 2 jobs, barely surviving. And yet, she had never asked him for anything. Never tried to use him. She was real in a world of fakes. The next morning, Alexander made a decision. He requested that Evelyn be permanently assigned to his suite. When she walked into his penthouse the following day and saw him sitting there with his coffee, her face went white. "You." Alexander smiled over the rim of his cup. "Good morning, Miss Carter. Why am I here?" "Because I want you here." Evelyn's hands shook. "This isn't funny. I need this job. Please don't play games with me." Alexander set down his cup and stood. He crossed the room slowly, watching her fight the urge to step back. "I'm not playing games," he said softly. "I'm giving you an opportunity." "What kind of opportunity?" "Work for me directly. Clean only my suite. I'll triple your salary." Evelyn stared at him like he had lost his mind. "Why would you do that?" "Because I can." "That's not an answer." Alexander's jaw tightened. No one challenged him. No one questioned him. But here she was, standing in front of him with fire in her eyes, despite her exhaustion. "Because I want to see you every day," admitted. The confession hung in the air between them like a lit match. Evelyn's breath caught. "You don't even know me. Then let me." She should have said no. She should have walked away. But Liam needed medicine. She needed rent. She was drowning. "Fine," she whispered. "But this is just a job. Nothing more." Alexander's smile was slow and dangerous. Just a job. But they both knew he was lying. 2 months changed everything. Evelyn came to his suite every morning at 8. She cleaned. He worked. But somewhere between the silence and the stolen glances, something shifted. He learned that she liked her coffee with too much sugar, that she hummed when she thought no one was listening, that she had a scar on her wrist from a car accident that killed her parents. She learned that he didn't sleep most nights, that his father had built this empire on blood and ruthlessness, that Alexander had inherited not just wealth, but a legacy of cruelty he was trying to escape. "Why did you really want me here?" Evelyn asked one morning. They were standing by the window. The city stretched endlessly below them. Alexander turned to her. "Because you fell asleep in my bed, and for the first time in years, something in me woke up." Evelyn's breath hitched. "Alexander, I know this is insane," he continued, his voice raw. "I know we're from different worlds, but I can't stop thinking about you." "This can't happen," she whispered. "You're my boss. I'm nobody. You're not nobody to me." He reached out, his fingers brushing her cheek. The touch was electric. Dangerous. Evelyn closed her eyes. "If anyone finds out, I'll lose everything, and we'll be careful." She should have walked away. But when Alexander kissed her, slow and desperate, she kissed him back. And just like that, they fell. The affair was a secret. Stolen moments in his penthouse. Whispered conversations in the dark. He paid for Liam's treatments without telling her. She made him laugh for the first time in a decade. But secrets never stay buried. 3 months in, Evelyn walked into his suite early and froze. A woman was there, beautiful, blonde, draped in diamonds. She was sitting on the couch like she owned it. "Oh," the woman said, smiling coldly. "You must be the maid." Evelyn's stomach dropped. "Who are you?" "Victoria Ashford, Alexander's fiancée." The word shattered everything. Evelyn turned to see Alexander standing in the doorway, his face pale. "Evelyn, wait, fiancé?" Her voice broke. "You have a fiancé? It's not what you think." "Then what is it?" Evelyn demanded, tears streaming down her face. "Tell me right now." Alexander's jaw clenched. "It's a business arrangement. My father set it up before he died. It means nothing. It means everything." Evelyn shouted. "You lied to me." Victoria laughed softly. "Oh, darling. Did he tell you he loved you? Men like Alexander don't love. They collect." Evelyn looked at Alexander, waiting for him to deny it, to fight for her. but he just stood there, silent. "I was so stupid," Evelyn whispered. "I actually thought this was real." She turned and ran. Alexander moved to follow, but Victoria grabbed his arm. "Let her go," she hissed. "This was always going to end. You and I have an empire to build. That girl is nothing." But as Alexander watched Evelyn disappear, he realized Victoria was wrong. Evelyn wasn't nothing. She was everything, and he had just destroyed her. Evelyn didn't return to the hotel. For 2 weeks, she disappeared. Alexander searched for her desperately, but she had vanished like smoke until the night someone knocked on his penthouse door at midnight. Alexander opened it to find Evelyn standing there, soaked from the rain. Her eyes were wild, terrified. "I need your help," she gasped. He pulled her inside immediately. "What happened?" "It's Liam." He collapsed. They rushed him to the hospital, but the treatment he needs costs $500,000. "Insurance won't cover it," her voice cracked. "I have nowhere else to go." Alexander's heart twisted. "I'll take care of it. Tonight, all of it." "Why would you do that after everything?" "Because I love you." The confession hung between them like a prayer. Evelyn's tears came harder. "You're engaged. I'm breaking it off. Tonight I don't care about the business or the empire or any of it. I only care about you." She wanted to believe him. But trust was a luxury she couldn't afford. "Help me save Liam," she whispered. "Then we'll talk." Alexander made the calls immediately. By morning, Liam was in surgery with the best doctors money could buy. Evelyn sat in the waiting room, her head in her hands. Alexander sat beside her. "I'm sorry I lied to you," he said quietly. "Victoria was my father's dying wish. A merger between families. But I don't love her. I never did." "Then why didn't you tell me?" "Because I'm a coward. I've spent my whole life doing what I was told, playing the role. But you made me want to be someone different, someone better." Evelyn looked at him, really looked at him. She saw the man beneath the armor, broken, desperate. "If we do this," she said slowly, "it can't be a secret anymore. I won't be your hidden shame. You never were." The surgery was successful. Liam would live. But the next morning, everything fell apart. Evelyn woke up to her phone, exploding with notifications, photos, articles, headlines. Billionaire Alexander. Wolf's secret affair with hotel maid exposed. Her blood turned to ice. Someone had leaked everything. Photos of them together. Private moments. The story twisted into something ugly, and the final blow came when she saw the source. The exclusive was given to the press by Victoria Ashford, who claimed Alexander had been using Evelyn as a pawn in a scheme to break their engagement without penalty. Evelyn called Alexander immediately. "Is it true?" she demanded when he answered. "Did you use me?" "What?" "No. Evelyn, where is this coming from?" "Victoria told the press that you seduced me to get out of your engagement, that I was a game to you." "That's insane. She's lying because I broke things off with her last night." "Then why does she have proof?" "Photos of us from weeks ago. Private conversations." Alexander's silence was damning. "You've been documenting this," Evelyn realized, her voice breaking. "You knew this would go public." "I needed insurance," Alexander admitted, "in case Victoria tried to destroy me. But I never planned to hurt you. You used me as a weapon." "Evelyn, please." She hung up. Her world was burning. The press had found her apartment, her job. Liam's hospital room was surrounded by cameras, and Alexander, the man she had trusted, had turned her into collateral damage. That night, Victoria appeared at Evelyn's door. "I want you to know something," Victoria said coldly. "Alexander Wolf destroys everything he touches. He'll promise you the world, and then he'll take it all away. Just like he did to his last girlfriend. She killed herself because of him." Evelyn's blood ran cold. "You're lying, am I?" "Ask him about Sophia. See if he tells you the truth." Victoria walked away, leaving Evelyn shattered. When Alexander finally found Evelyn at the hospital that night, she looked at him like a stranger. "Who was Sophia?" she asked. Alexander froze. "How do you know that name?" "Answer the question." His face went pale. She was someone I cared about. 5 years ago, my father disapproved. He threatened to destroy her family if we stayed together. So I ended it. She couldn't handle it. She took her own life. Evelyn's hand shook. And you were going to let the same thing happen to me? No, I learned from that. That's why I'm fighting this time. By using me as bait. By dragging me through the media? I made mistakes, but everything I did was to protect us. There is no us, Evelyn said, her voice hollow. There's just you and your empire and the people you crush to keep it. Alexander reached for her, desperation cracking his voice. Evelyn, please. I love you. Love isn't supposed to destroy people. She walked away, leaving Alexander standing alone in the fluorescent hospital lights, and this time, she didn't look back. 6 months passed. Evelyn rebuilt her life piece by piece. Liam recovered. She found a new job in a different city, far from the Wolf Grand Hotel and the wreckage of what she had lost. But some nights, she still thought about Alexander, the way he had looked at her, the way he had made her feel alive. And then one evening, he appeared at her door. He looked different, thinner, tired. The sharp edges of him had worn down into something raw. What are you doing here? Evelyn asked, her voice guarded. I need to tell you the truth. All of it. She should have closed the door. But something in his eyes stopped her. They sat across from each other in her small apartment. The silence was heavy. After you left, Alexander began, I burned it all down. The engagement. The merger. The empire my father built, I gave most of it away. Charity, foundations, people who actually needed it. Evelyn stared at him. Why? Because none of it mattered without you. I realized I had spent my entire life protecting something that was already dead. My father's legacy was poison, and I was letting it kill me too. That doesn't erase what you did. I know. And I'm not here to ask for forgiveness. I'm here to give you closure. He pulled out an envelope and placed it on the table. What is this? Evelyn asked. Everything I have left? $20 million. It's yours. Her heart stopped. I don't want your money. It's not for you. It's for Liam. For his future. For college and treatment and everything he'll ever need. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your life for him. Tears burned in Evelyn's eyes. Why are you doing this? Because you taught me something I had forgotten. That love isn't about possession. It's about letting go. Alexander stood up, and Evelyn realized he was saying goodbye. Wait, she said, her voice breaking. What are you going to do? Start over. Somewhere far from here. Try to be the man you made me want to become. He moved toward the door, and panic seized her chest. Alexander, he turned. The night we met, Evelyn said softly. I was so tired I didn't care if I got fired. I just wanted one moment of peace. And I found it in your bed, I remember. You asked me once why I fell asleep there. The truth is, I felt safe. For the first time in years, I felt safe. Alexander's eyes glistened. And then I destroyed that. No, Evelyn said, standing up. You gave me something I thought I'd lost. Hope. You made me believe that maybe I deserved more than just surviving. Oh. She crossed the room slowly. I'm not going to lie and say I'm not angry, or that I'm not scared. Because I am. You hurt me. And trusting you again is terrifying. You don't have to trust me, but I want to try. Alexander's breath caught. What are you saying? I'm saying that love is messy and complicated, and sometimes it breaks you. But maybe that's the point. Maybe we're supposed to break so we can rebuild into something stronger, Evelyn. I don't want your money. I don't want your empire. I just want you. The real you, not the armor. Not the mask. Just Alexander. He pulled her into his arms, holding her like she was the only thing keeping him alive. I don't deserve you, he whispered against her hair. Probably not, but you're stuck with me anyway. They stood there in her tiny apartment, two broken people trying to piece each other back together. It wouldn't be easy. There would be more fights. More mistakes. More scars. But as Alexander kissed her, slow and desperate and real, Evelyn realized something. Love wasn't about perfection. It was about choosing someone even when it hurt, even when it was hard, even when the world told you it was impossible. And maybe that was enough. 3 years later, Evelyn stood in a small house by the ocean, watching Liam chase waves on the beach. He was healthy, laughing, alive. Alexander wrapped his arms around her from behind, pressing a kiss to her temple. "What? Do you ever regret it?" he asked quietly. "Which part?" "Falling asleep in my bed?" "Starting all of this?" Evelyn turned in his arms, looking up at the man who had shattered her and healed her in equal measure, not for a second, because sometimes the biggest mistakes lead to the most beautiful beginnings, and sometimes the people who break us are the only ones who can make us whole. The end.